Hello and welcome to the Spotlight Academy Insight Series, where we connect you with the faculty and we give you a closer look at how they coach and what they can do for you in your career as an aspiring actor. I'm Christopher Bennett. I'm a longtime friend of the Spotlight Academy. And today I'm sitting down with acting coach extraordinaire, a true veteran of the craft and someone equally as exciting to work with, whether you're a new actor or an established one, Mr. Lex Dunn. How you doing, Lex?
I'm doing fine, Chris. Nice to meet you.
Hey, listen, thanks for making the time today. You've been doing this now, and I hope you don't mind me dating you. I see this as a badge of honor. You've been doing this for 3 decades. You've been around the industry for a long time.
Probably longer than that, but I'll admit to three.
You've done work on stage at the Shaw Festival, the Royal Alexander Theater. You've done CBC radio dramas right up to hit TV shows like Trailer Park Boys. The miniseries Snakes and Ladder on CBC's Black Harbor, and of course Haven in the US, which was a great show. You've kind of done it all, and you've had an opportunity to work with talent across the country, like whether it was in Nova Scotia or George Brown in Toronto, Vancouver Island, everywhere. Where are the best actors in Canada, Lex? Have you got a conclusive opinion on that yet?
Honestly, everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean that sounds like a cop out, but I have seen some spectacularly good actors in Halifax. I also lived in Montreal for a while, but Toronto. It's a terrible thing to say. In my experience, some of the best actors in Canada are the ones we don't see often enough. It's a very difficult country. It's a very difficult country. We don't have a regular star system or recognition system better than star system. So there's all kinds of wonderful actors. I'm privileged to work with some terrific actors here through Jackie and through the talent agency I work with. There are great actors everywhere, and I know that sounds like a wishy-washy, but
No, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
You've also spent time as in the advertising world. You understand the creative process, and if you're in an industry like that, so often you want to create something new and exciting and bold that people have never seen before. Can the craft of acting operate in the same way? Are you with any given client or student you're working with, are you attempting to help them present something new as an actor we've never seen before, or is it a standard and a level a quality of acting that you are hoping to achieve? Or does that question make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. It's hard to say. When I was in the advertising world, a lot of the stuff we did was narration. When we were casting actors in narration and in commercial voiceovers and things like that. And having done that on both sides of the mic, having been hired to do voice work and also hiring voices to do it, the one thing that I discovered, and this is what I try to bring to my voice classes here, is that you must be an actor. Not is it helpful to be an actor? You must be an actor. You must be an actor to do voice work, because if you can. So in my voice class, I don't get hung up in the technical things like deepen your voice or raise your voice or this. What I say is get to know your voice, use it, and explore all kinds of things. You can do all kinds of voices. You can do this. You can do that. You can do you can do accents. Good eye, how you doing? You can do all of those things, and it helps to be an actor to do that. And I'm a big believer that every voiceover needs to have a character behind it, even if you're doing monster truck pulls.
Yeah.
If you go, come to Vancouver, PNE, be there. I can't. That's not my kind of voice. But even at that, you were assuming the character of the advertiser. If you're doing a McDonald's voiceover,
Yeah.
McDonald's is very happy and up tempo. I'm loving it. You deserve a break. It's all up tempo. So when you're doing a McDonald's commercial, you have to have a character that matches the brand. But so it's certainly same in narration. So all of these things, I think, to be really different and break out, stand out, if you act these things as opposed to, I have a wonderful voice and I can read the script, and yeah, you can. But what that happens then is you have somebody who's reading scripts as opposed to bringing the script to life, lifting the words off the page and making them real. And that takes acting skill.
When you look at the impact of COVID, on the industry just 3 years ago, one thing that came out of it was a real appreciation for the virtual experience. And I know you'll work with actors in the room, or you'll work with them virtually. Have you found that has been a positive experience overall for you? Talk to me about how the Zoom experience is playing into your approach to coaching right now.
Well, when it comes to coaching voice, the Zoom experience, in a weird kind of way, it can actually be helpful, because when you're doing voice work, you are going to be sitting or standing in front of a microphone. You're not going to, even if you're doing voice acting with other actors, most of the time when you're in those situations, whoever has the bigger role gets to record their part first somewhere, and then it's sent to you, and you have to work off of what's been supplied to you. So if you had this great idea that you were going to have a laugh line here, but the guy or person you're supposedly acting off of doesn't feed that, then you have to adapt.
Of course.
So
what's
so
the?
Sorry,
go ahead.
So for voice acting, I actually find it preferable. It actually works better in a Zoom situation, because you only have now we can't reach out and touch, and you can't. All we have is our voice. So it's a very good process. Now, when I was teaching, with Jackie a couple of years ago, and I was teaching method acting, that's only good up to a point. You can do monologue work quite easily, but to do that kind of work, you need to be able to kind of do scene study. And for that kind of work, had to adapt, and it is adaptable, but I do not find it as as comprehensive as being in the room with the actors, because the other thing you can't get on Zoom is the physicality. And if you're doing it on camera or on stage, you have to know what your physicality is going to be. That's difficult to replicate on Zoom electronically.
I think so. And do you have a preference of the type of actors you typically like to work with? Will you work with someone brand new on day one, or more established? How do you typically approach the kinds of actors you're more popular at working with?
It really varies. I think. You would have to ask some of my students, but I think where I can truly help, there are a lot of great acting coaches out there, and I can work with established actors. But I love working with people, and it has nothing to do with their age, because sometimes people have been in the business and are coming back to it, or they're getting into it at a later age. So it's not age, but it's about where they are in their journey. And I really, really like working with people who are just getting into it, to try to prevent them from learning bad habits. Like we all were taught. I had bad habits, coming up. You get a couple of bad teachers, and they teach you something that this doesn't seem to be working. So I really like working with new actors and young actors a lot.
Yeah, they can be very exciting. What's the experience like in a class with you, Lex? What are actors going to discover, when they have the opportunity to finally work with you? What kind of a teacher are you?
I think I'm gentle. I believe in being very encouraging to actors. It can be a brutal business. It can be difficult to find your way. And as a student in my past, I have always disliked acting teachers who think that they're a therapist. And I've seen it. I've been in method classes where I have seen a teacher almost break somebody down to nothing. And I don't think, there's a couple of things wrong with that. Number one, you're not a therapist. And I was in this one class where a woman was broken down. She actually had what we would now call a severe mental health moment. She actually had to quit the class and became hospitalized for some months, because she was suppressing something. And what she was suppressing was extremely serious and extremely detrimental to her. And we were in a situation where we had somebody delving into that who had no business doing so. So this is acting, and this idea that you have to live the character 24/7, when outside of the scene. To me, again, everybody has a method, and I'm not about to tell Daniel Day-Lewis that he shouldn't do that.
Of course.
He tends to be a fairly good actor. At least,
I think so. I think critics would agree with you. I think so.
So
What
it does work for some, but it doesn't have to work for everybody, and it's not a prerequisite.
Well, I appreciate your sensitivity to it, and of course, it's always about accessing emotions. And you're absolutely right. This can be it's a serious craft, and there's some real important work that goes into that. And your awareness and sensitivity to it certainly speaks a lot about you. Just as we wrap, Lex, we've got to run, but for all those aspiring actors out there that are curious and considering coming over to Spotlight and working with you or the faculty, anything you'd like them to know or anything you'd like to say?
Boy, that's tough. I think acting is a noble profession. I think it is an art form, and I think you need to consider yourself to be an artist, dedicate yourself to your art, take it seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. Maintain a sense of humor about yourself. Stay even. That doesn't mean be flippant or be superficial, but remember that this is something that should bring insight and joy, and love your craft. Learn your craft. Learn your craft. It doesn't matter how talented you are. You need to be able to learn the craft, because you need to be able to walk onto the set and nail it. Find your mark, nail it. 30 takes in a row and nailing it. So that's craft.
Yeah.
There's art and craft in this, and you need them both.
The quotable Lex Dunn, that was truly wise words, and I think from a guy who's really lived it. And if you're fortunate enough to get into Lex's class and have the opportunity to work with him, you're definitely in great hands. It's such an amazing team. Hey, Lex, thanks for making the time today. What you and the whole faculty at Spotlight are doing is truly at the best level in Canada, and it's been a lot of fun getting to know you. And I'm wishing you all the best this year. Okay.
Thank you very much, Chris. I've enjoyed I've enjoyed our time together, and thanks for getting in touch with me. I appreciate it.
We'll see you soon. Thanks, Lex.
Bye bye.